the Super Bowl halftime show featuring Bad Bunny. A lot of people had a lot of opinions on this, so I would like to just share mine. So on first watch, I never heard any of Bad Bunny's music. I wasn't a fan. I'm not even a fan of the Super Bowl, to be honest. But I just tuned in because my wife and her sister wanted to watch. So I indulged. And what I found was that in the first minute, I was wondering if he's going to sing in English or I couldn't understand it. But I was vibing with the beat and the visuals were really nice. And so I got into it. So after that first minute, I was pretty much fully indulged in it and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the wedding scene, the little kid as he presented him with an award and him being on the electrical pole and on the roof. And it was just visually stunning. And I'm not a fan with regards to I'm gonna start listening to his music and purchasing it, but I was a fan, and I can see why other people really like his music. It was really, really good. It's just not my style of music to purchase or anything like that. But I was happy he was chosen because he did a very good job. So I decided to look to see what other people were saying. And of course, that's where I met my disgust because I went to Pierce Morgan to view what Megyn Kelly was saying and other people who were on his panel and to see the cult-like behavior of people is really disgusting, to be honest. Megyn Kelly had this fake outrage. You can tell it was fake. You can tell she was acting, but that's how she's choosing to capture an audience. She's choosing to capture an audience that's into being morally bankrupt. That's how she's choosing to sell her soul. And talk how she described Latina and, she tried to shake her shoulders and it was just ridiculous. And to say that Kid Rock and whoever else was on the other show was anything in comparison. Pierce, you're being silly. Stop. There's no comparison to somebody singing his last hit, which was in 1999 or somewhere, to somebody who's on the top of the charts today. There's no comparison. So why are you trying to make that comparison? That was C-list at best. And I'm not saying that because I dislike Kid Rock. I liked probably three of his songs back then. I think he did a song with Ludacris, Lights, Camera, Action, Rockstar. So I think that was R. Kelly, Ludacris, and I think Kid Rock. I could be wrong, but I think it was. But I love that song. And I liked some of his songs, but he's done. Like people come to a stage in their life where the talent that they had before is past them. He's at that point, and there's no need to make a comparison. As they try to say, there were 6 million people watching. People stopped tuning into the Super Bowl to tune into this show. It's just purely a fabrication. Simply, the numbers tell it all. This was the most viewed halftime show ever. So if people were tuning out to watch the other show, I can't tell. It was the most viewed Super Bowl ever. Numbers don't lie. Men and women do. I just can't understand why people can't like something and still have the views that they have on other things. People are so stupid now on both parties, Republicans and Democrats. Like people are so stupid, but I'm mostly seeing it on the Republican side as of late. Why do people feel if they have to be fully engulfed in the cult that they're aligned with? I mean, it's a cult because you can objectively see someone being murdered in the middle of the street and call that bad. But if you're in a cult, you're going to believe whatever the cult leader believes. And if the cult leader and his staff are saying that they're domestic terrorists, that they deserve what they got, that is how the rest of the cult will act. They have no objectivity. They are just following the cult leader. You know why? Because they see that there are ignorant people in America who are also following this cult leader. And they want to get them as an audience because they are morally bankrupt and their soul has been sold for a cheap price. Mind you, all these people are millionaires. Most of them. Most of them are millionaires already. But yet they want to sell their soul for a few more million. I don't know what is going to purchase them a bigger house, even though most of them are to the point where they can't have children anymore because they're past the age where they can conceive. You want a bigger house? Why? For what? Why do you need more room? You want more cars? For what? They want to make sure that their children and children's children, gener- generational wealth, that's what they're trying to create. Okay. What's the price of that? Because eventually they will see that you have no values, and that's how you enriched yourself. So what did you really gain? All right. The other thing I seen was Lauren, I don't know, I don't remember her last name. She made a statement of she had to change the channel because the lack of whiteness she's seen in the Super Bowl. You know what, Lauren? If you go around the world globally, you will see that there is a lack of whiteness because globally, white is the minority by 15, excuse me, by over 80%. Black and Asian or African and Asian make up 80 to 85% of the population globally. So if you go around the world, you will see a lack of whiteness. So obviously you've never traveled anywhere if you're saying that. Only in America do white people or people who claim that they're white people feel that they have a majority. But let me give you some news. Number one, white race is not a real thing. So while you're saying you don't see any white, you're not really saying a thing because there could have been Pavarotti. There could have been an Italian person performing, and then they would have been performing in Italian as Pavarotti. Would that not be white enough for you? Because they are considered white. There could have been a superstar from France singing in French. Is that still not white enough for you? But they are considered white here in America. How about someone from Ireland? How about someone from England? If they sung in their native language, you wouldn't understand any of them. Yet they are considered white here in America. So what are you really saying? And if you go from ethnic groups that are here in America, those from England would consist of 46 million people. Black slash African descent would consist of 51 to 52 million. So technically, with regard to ethnicity or ancestry, you're not even the biggest group here. So when you say there's a lack of whiteness, I mean, what really are you saying? It seems that you are an, how do you pronounce it? Eskenazi Jew? Okay, I don't want to disrespect it by mispronouncing it. So Jewish. And let's say the biggest Jewish person, star, if they would have been performing at the Super Bowl, would that be okay? Because that would then be your bag. Since you want to claim something, you said white. So since white isn't like a real thing, we have to go deeper than that. So I'm saying your ancestry, your background, Jewish, right? Because some Jewish people are not considered white, although they are lumped in with all those other people are named when it comes to the census, because Jewish isn't recognized in the census. I really don't understand. I mean, I do understand, but I can't relate. I guess that's what I'm saying. I can't relate to people who want to be in a cult, not by force, by choice. It's really interesting to me because I can be objective when I look at things and I agree and disagree, regardless of who I voted for in that term. Pierce Morgan. I really agree with you 30% of the time. Another 30% of the time, I can respectfully disagree. But that other 40, I vehemently disagree because you're bullying people on your show if they have a different view than you. You give space on your show for those who share the same view more than you do those of different views. You try to muzzle them. You let them speak, but then you muzzle them more than you do people who have the same view as you. And then when there are women, you try to act like a big brother to the women. And when somebody is disagreeing with them, you go at the person who's disagreeing and try to make them shut up or stop or slow down. It's just bullying behavior. And when it comes to people who you love to say you're friends with, like Donald Trump, you may seem to disagree, but it's very light, which puts your moral compass in question. It's very light. Just like you can see that there are people being killed that don't deserve to be killed. You can disagree with that, but your friend literally says they're domestic terrorists or they shouldn't have been doing what they were doing. You have nothing to say about that. If it were anyone else, you would definitely have harsh criticism. But with him, you just lightly brush over. You make people condemn people for saying things. When it was Hamas, do you condemn Hamas? No, say that you condemn Hamas. Every show, that's all you were saying. People had to say that in order for you to even show them an idiom of respect. Some things I will go to in a different podcast, but just wanted to touch on that. It's just some of the things that were on my mind today. As I always say, in a world that evolves in all ways, let your foundation be eternal love always. I'll catch you on the next frequency. So in the meantime, stay at peace for me and Eli frequently.